Hours after the big Modi Trump meeting in Washington, a political row has broken out back home. This as a second plane load of illegal Indian migrants from the United States of America is scheduled to land in Amritsar. Punjab Chief Minister Bhagwant Mann is training his guns at the Modi government, accusing it of trying to defame Punjab. The issue of illegal migration did come up at that meeting, and the Prime Minister did talk about it right after he met with US President Donald Trump. I'm Barkha, you're with the Mojo Story. The big Modi Trump meeting in Washington has been decoded for trade, tariffs, terrorism, and a host of other issues of cooperation between India and the United States. But one point of relative friction remains not the return of illegal Indian migrants, but the manner of handling them. Previously, as images of them being shackled, handcuffed, and chained on a 40-hour flight brought back on a US military plane went viral, the MEA, the foreign ministry, said it had raised concerns with relevant authorities in the United States. But the foreign minister said this was standard operating protocol for the Americans. Now, as a second plane load of deportees is scheduled to come back, the Punjab chief minister is making an allegation against the Modi government. He's asking why Amritsar is the chosen destination. He's asking why not Gujarat. He says if Sheikh Hasina's plane can land on the outskirts of the capital, for instance, why not with these planes? Why only Amritsar? It also remains to be seen whether after the MEA did raise concerns, and this was before the Trump-Modi meeting, the handling of these illegal migrants who are coming home will be different, or at least will they not be videographed and have those videos released, which is really, in a sense, what caused the outrage the last time around. Let me introduce our panel today as politics erupts over this issue to try and separate the politics from the diplomacy and also from the law. Ambassador Prabhu Dayal, a veteran diplomat, is with us. Good to see you, sir, after a long time. Sanjay Hegde, senior advocate, is with us. Good to see you, Sanjay. Also joining us from the Aam Aadmi Party is Bikramjit Passi. Namaskar and welcome to the program, sir. Also joining us is Sushant Sareen. Sushant has some very, very strong opinions on the issue, and I've been following him on social media. He even disagreed with me when I said it was horrible to see the shackles. And also joining us from the BJP is Dr. Dharinder Dayal. Good to see you, sir. Namaskar. And finally, another person with extremely strong opinions on this, Kushal Mehra, who says that the debate is missing the tree for the woods. The crackdown should be on the cartels that send sometimes desperate, sometimes knowing people abroad illegally. Welcome everybody to the program. I want to start by talking about how the Prime Minister chose to classify this problem. He said it was a problem of human trafficking. He acknowledged that it is often the very desperate, the very poor who are misled by cartels. And he said that he expects that President Trump, America and India will work on this issue to solve it together. Take a look.
सवाल सिर्फ भारत का नहीं है, वैश्विक रूप से हम इस मत के हैं कि गैर कानूनी तरीके से जो लोग दूसरे देशों में होते हैं उनको वहां रहने का कोई कानूनी अधिकार तो है नहीं। जहां तक भारत और अमेरिका का सवाल है, हमने हमेशा कहा है कि जो वेरीफाइड होगा, कि जो सच्चे अर्थ में भारत का ही नागरिक होगा, वो अगर अमेरिका में गैर कानूनी तरीके से रहता है तो उसको वापस लेने के लिए भारत तैयार है। लेकिन बात हमारे लिए वहां से रुकती नहीं है। ये सामान्य परिवारों के बच्चे होते हैं, उनको बड़े बड़े सपने दिखाए जाते हैं और उनको ज्यादातर ऐसे होते हैं उनको गुमराह करके लाया जाता है। और इसलिए ये ह्यूमन ट्रैफिकिंग में जुड़े हुए पूरे इकोसिस्टम पर हमने वार करना चाहिए। और अमेरिका और भारत मिल करके हमारी कोशिश है और हमारी कोशिश रहनी चाहिए कि इस प्रकार की पूरी इकोसिस्टम को हमें जड़ मूल से नष्ट करना चाहिए ताकि ह्यूमन ट्रैफिकिंग बंद हो और गरीब लोगों को जो अपनी धन दौलत बेच करके ऐसे बड़े बड़े सपने दिखा करके उनको अंधेरे में रख करके ले जाया जाए, उनके साथ भी अन्याय है। और इसलिए हमारी बड़ी लड़ाई उस पूरे इकोसिस्टम के खिलाफ है और मुझे विश्वास है कि राष्ट्रपति ट्रंप भी इस इकोसिस्टम को खत्म करने में भारत का पूरा सहयोग करेंगे.
I expect that President Trump will also work with India to crack down on this ecosystem that misleads desperate and poor people by showing them fake dreams. Ambassador Dayal, that seems a perfectly reasonable statement. Of course, the Prime Minister did not get into the issue of how the first batch of illegal migrants were brought home. They were handcuffed and shackled. There were some very disturbing testimonies. There were two views on where the outrage should be directed. And the MEA did go on record to say that it has raised concerns. We don't know how the next batch is going to play out. Is it going to be any different? Is it going to be just the same? What's your take on this issue, Ambassador?
Well, first of all, thanks for having me on your show. My concern is really about the manner in which these people were deported. And I'm also concerned about the fact that we are looking at matters through a very divisive prism. For me, it doesn't matter whether they were from Punjab or Gujarat or Haryana or UP or wherever. For me, what matters is that illegal immigrants who are Indians had managed to go to the United States of America. When I was ambassador or when I was a diplomat for 37 years, I never looked at people who came to me for assistance, and there were plenty of them. You know, I served in the Gulf where there were millions of Indians who lived there. I never looked at them, whether they were from my state, from which state they were. They were Indians who came to me for help. So I find it very unfortunate while the rest of the world looks at us as Indians, we tend to divide ourselves. We look at ourselves as Punjabis or Gujaratis or Haryanvis. This is not the way forward. We have to address the main problem, and that problem is how did this racket of trafficking, human trafficking, manage to take such a large number of Indians in an illegal manner to the United States and left them destitute there in such a tragic situation? Why were they met with such tragic circumstances? This illegal migration racket has to be cracked down on. This is trafficking. For me, this whole debate about whether they were Punjabis or Gujaratis, etc., all that is not of any consequence. Now, there is a question that is being raised, why the plane landed at Amritsar and whether this meant a blot on Punjab.
Can I play the? Do I have your permission to just play out the Punjab Chief Minister's statement on this, and then we can continue the conversation? Take a look. Bhagwant Mann is saying why Amritsar again and again. Let's listen to the Punjab Chief Minister.
अच्छा, अमृतसर ही क्यों चुनते हैं? मुझे क्राइटेरिया बता दीजिए कि अमृतसर चुनने का क्राइटेरिया क्या है? मतलब ये पंजाब को डेलिबरेटली जानबूझकर बदनाम करने की कोशिश है ताकि ये लगे कि बस पंजाबी हैं जो गैर कानूनी प्रवास जाते हैं. तो गुजरातियों का मॉडल कहां गया फिर? और पिछली बार के जहाज में जो आए थे उसमें 7-8 बच्चे थे. 7-8 बच्चे, सारे बच्चे गुजरात के थे.
All right, Ambassador Dayal, before I open it up, the Punjab Chief Minister has said this. As a matter of fact, in this second batch, about 8 of the deportees are reported to be from Gujarat, 33 from Haryana, and another 67 from Punjab. In the first batch, they were more evenly divided. I think the point you're making is that's not the point.
Well, when I first heard that the plane was landing in Amritsar, what struck me was that Amritsar is closest to the border. It's a military plane which is bringing these people. We don't want a military plane flying any further than is barely necessary. So Amritsar was a convenient spot. Drop them and go back. We don't want you flying over the rest of India. And, well, a military plane can be up to a lot of tricks. And I think there was a very deliberate attempt to keep this landing spot as close to the border as possible. So that was never an issue of controversy. What was really hurtful was that these people were sent in shackles, they were handcuffed, they were put to so much of difficulty during the deportation process, and that is the issue which needs to be addressed. I think it's time that every Indian must stand together. This whole attitude of divisiveness must come to an end. This is going to hurt us. We must look at the fact so many Indians were deported and be totally united as
And
Indians in tackling
And
this issue.
before I go to Sushant and everybody else, you do believe that as a veteran diplomat, you were disturbed by the videography of them handcuffed and chained for 42 hours. You even though the Americans said that's our protocol.
Yes, I was disturbed. I have never seen deportations being done in this manner. I found it to be totally humane. And I think that's the issue which should be taken up with the United States, not whether they were Punjabis and Gujaratis or Haryanvis. That's not relevant for me. What is important for me is that they were all Indians and all subjected to this manner. And I would appeal to all political parties. I'm not political at all. Sometimes I get disgusted by divisive politics, and I want that this divisiveness should be brought to an end, and all political parties must come together and be totally united in taking up the issue of how these people were treated and not getting divided among themselves.
Okay, so I think you made a very very nuanced, balanced statement, an apolitical statement, saying that you were very very disturbed to see those handcuffs and shackles. So Shant, I want to bring you in because I know that you kind of disagree from what I followed on social media. You disagreed with me when I made a similar point that look, of course these people have to be brought home. They should never have been there illegally to begin with, but should they be brought home in this way publicly? For the public to see how they were handcuffed and chained for 40 hours, everybody other than children. Now you hear what Ambassador Dayal is saying. There's politics around this. There's going to be a lot of scrutiny, especially after the Modi-Trump meeting. Your take, Sushant.
Barkha, as far as politics is concerned, there's politics in everything in India. Whether it's food, whether it's music, whether it's jokes these days, even terrible jokes and horrific jokes, there's a lot of politics everywhere. So I'm not going to get into the politics part of it. That's normal, right? It's obnoxious, but yeah, I suppose that's the world we are living in. My issue is that one is a special treatment being meted out to Indians, which is not meted out to other people. See, it's one thing that you're deporting one or two people. Okay, you can put them in some restraints, something or the other, and you can deport them. If there's an entire aircraft of people who are very desperate in many ways, this is an American way of transporting criminals. They do it within their country, they do it outside their country. In India, for example, even when a notorious criminal is being taken to jail, apparently the Supreme Court has ruled that the criminal's dignity will be compromised if he's put in shackles. So they're generally taken, you can see cops catching them by the hand and like they're walking in the park and taking them to court. That is the kind of way we do our thing. The Americans don't do it that way. Now, if people don't like this kind of treatment, then they should not go illegally. I don't want to go illegally to America because I don't want to be checked by any cop or anybody out there and being told that I'm illegal and that, for me, my dignity is very important. For these people, it's not as though they went in first class to America in the first place, right? All of these guys went through the donkey route. And for them to pretend that they are all victims, that's utter nonsense. They all knew what they were getting into, whether they were from Gujarat, from Kerala, Karnataka, Punjab, wherever they were from. They all knew what they were getting into. Now, there is no way you can stop this simply because unless you have an immigration check required for virtually every passport in India. Supposing I want to go to Brazil tomorrow, are you going to ask me why I'm going to Brazil? I might just be going for no reason at all. But my reason might be that I want to first go to Brazil and then transport myself to the United States as an illegal immigrant. Are you going to stop me from going to Brazil, from going to Mexico, from going to any other country? How far are we going to take this? So that is what the networks operate on, right? And there are these people who are willing to pay, and these are not poor people. If somebody can afford to pay 50 lakhs of rupees to go to America to do toilet cleaning out there, then obviously he has enough money, right?
So how come we've never seen videos like this before?
Let me complete. I have no sympathy for these people who are transported back the way they are being transported back. I don't see any reason why anybody should have any sympathy for these guys because most of them have broken the law. They've broken, in a way, Indian law. They've broken the American law. and they are being transported as criminals are transported by the Americans. Secondly, unless it is our case that we send a special Air India aircraft, charter it from your and my taxpayer money to, bring these people back honorably who have gone very dishonorably. I don't know why I should be made to pay for these guys. So it's something which happens. It's been happening in the past, and I don't know why such a big song and dance is being made about it.
Can I just ask you though, do you remember seeing videos like this? Because Ambassador Dayal said that he's not seen this before. Maybe they were always handcuffed. Maybe we never saw it because they weren't videographed and officially released by the US administration. Maybe.
It's possible. It's possible because now it's become a kind of it's become part of American political, the American political system. Trump is doubling down on this whole thing of illegal immigration. And frankly speaking, illegal immigration had been taken to ridiculous levels in the United States. And I understand when many people in the US say that it's virtually an invasion which is taking place in the US. After all, if you have 4 or 5 million refugees who have just come in, more than, I think it's a couple of percent of their population who have come in the last couple of years without having the resources to accommodate them, and then using the state's resources to put them up. For example, the Pakistanis have a hotel in the heart of Manhattan, and you give $300 million to hire that hotel to put these guys in. What country does it? Maybe India does it with some of these refugees, and maybe the United States does it, and Europe does it. Which other sensible country will do something like this? So obviously there's a backlash coming. Trump rode on that backlash, and he's making a big deal of it. Now, either you say that, look, this is something very wrong, and you try and do the kind of grandstanding like the Panamanians and the Colombians did, and then, they had their tail between their legs and succumbed completely.
But they sent their own plane. But they sent
to Panama. Because Americans are saying we are not going to keep these guys out here. So they're sending the Pakistanis to Panama, and then they'll be deported from there. Either we say that we are going to go down that route and we will send special aircraft from India to fly these guys back. And if we are not going to do it, the Americans are doing it at their cost. They will do it the way they want to do it. If you don't like this treatment, don't go illegal.
Let's open this up for the two politicians. Please, let's not get lost in a political squabble, because there's geopolitics, diplomacy, and the law to discuss here. Bikramjit Pasi, you heard the ambassador. We are not Punjabis, Gujaratis, Haryanvis when it comes to engaging with an external nation. We are Indians, right? Whatever arguments we have, we keep them at home. With the Punjab chief minister making the comment he has, hasn't he in a way divided our response? Made our response divisive? That's what Ambassador Dayal said.
Good evening to all. It's not a question, because it's clear that we all are Indian and we can't divide the Punjabis or Gujaratis. But one thing is to be seen, Barkha ji, that the Punjab has been used twice. The airport of Amritsar has been used twice. Whereas the Punjab has been demanding international flights since very long. For the last many years, why demanding that Amritsar should be granted international air flights? But till date, they have not allowed so. But now, when the matter has come that the migrants who are illegal or who has been deported has to be landed, then Amritsar has been chosen. Why? What they want to show? Punjab, no doubt, Punjab is a very, you can say, sincere part of our country, and our country is united. But Punjab is a very strategic position. Punjab is very sensitive border state. And for the last many years, either due to political reasons or due to external reasons, Punjab is facing so many difficulties. Punjab has suffered a lot. And why you are choosing that Amritsar? Both times you have chosen the Amritsar. Why not Ahmedabad? If my learned friend was saying that it is near to border, then Ahmedabad is also near to border. Mumbai is also near to border. Mumbai has international flights. Why not Mumbai? Why not Mumbai? Because they want to defame the Punjab. They want to defame the Punjab. Why not the airport from Gujarat? Because they want to show that only Punjabis are the illegal migrants. When you are not allowing us international flights, and when you are not allowing us that the Punjab have any international flight on any of our airport, even in Mohali, We are not given proper international flights. But at this time,
Okay.
when the
Okay.
just be complete. What Honorable Supreme Court had said, that handcuffing can be done only in extreme situations where crime is very serious, and handcuffing is a cruel and inhuman act which also violates fundamental right provided under Article 14, 19, and 21. And the flights have landed in India, landed in the territory of India, and what action has taken?
Okay.
They are not the hardcore criminals.
Vikramji,
They have
what
been
the
treated.
Supreme Court, unfortunately, what the Supreme Court of India says applies only to India. So that is one reality. Sushant, very briefly, then I want to go to Dr. Tyal. Sushant, you had an interjection?
Yeah, I did. Number one, there are international flights which take off from Amritsar. Number two, Amritsar, if somebody was to study the map, when the flight routes come into India, Amritsar is the closest airport. It's not Gujarat, which is the closest airport, partly because if the Russian route was open, then perhaps you could have landed at Srinagar or Jammu or one of these places. But currently, Amritsar is the closest airport because flights overfly Pakistan and come into India. Number three, this whole nonsense of defaming Punjab. Number one, let's be very clear, Punjab is very much a part of India, right? So if flights land in Punjab, for whatever reason, nobody should have any problems with it. And as far as defaming Punjab is concerned, I don't think anybody needs to defame Punjab. Being a Punjabi myself, I think all Punjabis should be ashamed of what Punjab has become. It was one of the best states in India, one of the most prosperous states in India, one of the most industrious and hardworking people lived in that state. And today you have an entire generation, because successive politicians, whether it was BJP, Akali, Congress, AAP, you name the party, they have betrayed the people of Punjab. They have betrayed the people of Punjab like nothing else. Barkha, I can tell you something. Today, there is hardly any young Punjabi who wants to stay back in Punjab, who wants to invest his life in Punjab. They are all running away from Punjab. They're all voting with their feet. So defaming Punjab, I think we should be ashamed of what we have made Punjab. And for us to live in this denial that, Punjab was this great state. Yes, it was. Today, it's drugs are in that state. It's deindustrialized. The kind of corruption there is in Punjab is hardly there anywhere else in this country. Nobody wants to invest in Punjab. But yes, because we are Punjabis and we have this, chest thumping attitude about ourselves, we'll keep saying, don't defame Punjab. Punjab is gone. It's history.
Okay.
And it pains me to say it.
Very angry, Sushant. And as he was speaking, it just occurred to me that I think 6 of the 7 of us on this program today are Punjabis. This is not how it was planned, but this is how it is. So that's just a point of detail that may be relevant to some. Dr. Tyal, the allegation that the AAP is making against the BJP is quite simply this. The BJP doesn't want to show that the home state of the Prime Minister and the Home Minister also has economic distress that may lead people to take this extreme step of becoming an illegal migrant. Therefore, you control the optics by making it all about Punjab. Now, we've heard reasons of strategy of the military planes. Amritsar is the closest airport, but politically, the AAP says BJP तो बात ही नहीं करना चाहती कि गुजरात से भी लोग जाते हैं, हरियाणा से भी जाते हैं, both of which today have BJP governments. Dr. Tyal, can you hear me?
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Now,
Sorry, no, Ambassador Tyal, to Dharinder Tyal of the BJP. Sorry, your name
Right.
sounds similar. Yeah, hang on. No, sorry, Ambassador, I'll come back to you. Dr. Tyal, yeah.
So, I mean, if we were to differentiate between Dayal and Tyal, it'll be easier. So,
Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Having said that, a couple of things. Now, up today, the state it is in, it is trying to get some arc lights on itself in any manner possible. Now, take a hypothetical situation that this plane had actually landed in Gujarat. And my feel is that we would have seen Bhagwant Mann saying that out of the people, only, for example, today's plane, only 8 people are in Gujarat, and whereas today we have 67 Punjabis on the plane, still that favoritism is being done, that those Gujaratis should land in their state and the poor Punjabis should have to travel another 30-40 hours to come from Gujarat to Punjab. They could have landed in Punjab. We have an airport here. This is favoritism to Gujaratis. That is the kind of allegation that would have happened. Okay, let's take the second part of the story. Second part of the story being that if we go by the numbers of the two planes put together, 48% are Punjabis. That's 107 people out of 223. So 48% are Punjabi, so they don't have any right to speak on that at all. But still, the point I want to make, I don't want to, talk about the numbers and all that. The point is, somewhere I think the greatest disservice to Punjab has been done by Mr. Bhagwant Mann by raising this issue. Is the Punjabi pride so fragile that a plane lands in Punjab and Punjab gets defamed? You heard the Prime Minister. Has he or anybody today, barring of course Sushant, sorry about that, but nobody, including the president, is looking at these as hardened criminals whose landing in the country is God knows going to do what. The entire country is saying, okay, these are misled youth. These are youth who've somehow been taken for a ride, maybe willingly, maybe unwillingly, in some manner at all, and we need to integrate them. So if that is what we are talking about, how does their landing, in Punjab, defame Punjab? So you're trying to create an issue where there really is none.
Okay.
And of course,
okay.
like he said, that there are no international flights taking off. I mean, very ill-informed. International flights take off from Amritsar.
As far as I know, Birmingham and Toronto are both connected. I could be wrong, but I think Air India connects both. But maybe he meant non-stop. Bikramjit can explain that they don't originate. Bikramjit, what did you mean by saying no international flights go from Amritsar? If I can ask.
Let me just complete this.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, even when he
Amritsar
said
to
not,
America,
not
there is
taking
no
off,
international flight.
not-
Very
not
few
take-
international flights have been given to Amritsar airport. Only
No,
to
is it
Qatar,
few? Is it no?
only to
There's a
Sharjah.
difference between.
That's why
difference
Punjab
between
is
few and
demanding
no.
international. Let me complete.
No, I've just been.
Barkha ji has asked.
I've just been given
I've heard you. I've heard your clarification. Now let him complete his point. Yes, Dr. Tyan. Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, in fact, in this parliament session itself, Manish Tiwari had raised the issue of flights from Mohali, international flights from Mohali.
Yes.
And very clearly the answer was given to him that there is no bar. It is purely as a matter of, viability that the flights have to, the airlines have to look at it. So we cannot force somebody, no, you must run a flight. If they find it to be viable, they will do it. This was said on the House of the Parliament.
Okay. I have two people who haven't spoken yet, Sanjay and Kushal, and I want to come to Sanjay and then Kushal. We have two perspectives from our audience. One from Tarun Kaushik, who says, why is it important where the plane landed? The core issue should have been people having to leave their country illegally. They wouldn't do it if they had jobs. Why are they being treated like criminals? But on the counter side, you have Prasad saying economic distress cannot be an excuse for illegal migration. If that were the case, possibly 300 million people should be illegally migrating. It's a ridiculous argument. Sanjay Hegde, go ahead.
Migrate for economic reasons. Wherever you think that your life is going to be well spent, that's where you go. And particularly people migrate from lower income countries to higher income countries. I come from a family of migrants. I have migrated within the country. My siblings have all migrated all over the globe, but we've gone legally. But the legal route is not open to everyone. And that is why there are all these donkey routes. And between Punjab and Gujarat, there's one big difference. Often the Gujarati illegal migrant has family setups or cousin setups or village setups in the great Gujarati motels, which have taken over most of the United States, where the saying is that there is no motel without a Patel. And that's where they have a kind of job path set up. As far as the migrants from the Punjab are concerned, they have similar setups in Canada, but not so much in the United States, to the best of my knowledge. With all you Punjabis on the channel, you might know better. But at the end of the day, illegal migrants are people who went for an economic dream, and that dream has ended. They are people in trouble. They are Indians in trouble. And I am reminded of a time when Indian migrants, legal, illegal, forget that, they were all in trouble in Kuwait, and the country brought back lakhs of them. Inder Kumar Gujral negotiated that time with Saddam Hussein so that our people could come back. When in trouble, does Bharat Mata reach out? Does Bharat Mata protect its children? Irrespective of what they have done. That is the minimum thing that we expect from our motherland. All these other things are secondary. When people are in trouble, does our country stand behind them? And I don't want to hear anyone say these are anyway people who migrated illegally, but they are people like us. They've taken a chance. It's not worked out. So there, I would quite commend what the Colombian and the other presidents have done, saying that these people have their dignity. Please do. Maybe your laws require them to be handcuffed if you send them on your plane. So don't send them on your plane. We'll send planes for them. I think the country should stand by its people in trouble.
Okay, so you believe we should have sent planes. That was the one route ahead to get around American protocol, but also keep the dignity of those coming home. Sushant says, why on taxpayers' money? Kushan, go ahead.
Yeah, I think I have a great solution to the problem of Bhagwant Mann. I think we should just make the planes land in union territory so no state and its linguistic identity is hurt. So, I have a proposal. Chandigarh, Andaman Nicobar, Dadra and Nagar Haveli, Delhi. See, Delhi, everyone abuses. So Delhi walas are so used to getting abused all the time. So, I think Barkha will not take offense as a Delhi wali Punjaban. Barkha will be like, suna do. Kind of thing. I think I have solved.
Okay, more seriously. Okay, more seriously.
Yeah. So I don't agree with Sanjay.
Yeah.
I think we have to create an atmosphere where breaking any law, it doesn't matter what law it is, has to be repulsed. No, I'm not going to celebrate anyone who has done. Tomorrow, what am I supposed to be feeling? Yeah, there should be redemption. Redemption starts once you land in India, right? Once you land in India, your process of redemption starts. I'm not going to feel sad for anyone who's breaking a law. And I'm someone who has followed this subject far more. I don't need to show my credentials. I know what all happens under this, what kind of people are there involved in this, what levels of corruption are there in this. So I'm sorry, I'm not going to feel bad for this. I don't care where the plane lands. I don't care whose sentiments are hurt. If they're back, they're back. If there were shackles, there were no shackles. I just don't understand.
But you heard the ambassador. You heard the ambassador. He said he's never seen deportations being conducted in this manner. No one is arguing about the deportation.
Yeah, but it always happens. This is not the first time shackles were used. I mean, I've been living in and out in America, and these things are very common. It's just that we live in the age of performative outrage. Because इस बार वो उन्होंने वीडियो बना दिया. I mean, who cares? उन्होंने वीडियो बना दिया. I mean, you have Donald Trump as president. Donald Trump is a performative. He's like, in the words of, I don't know who was the politician who said he's a presidential troll. Or I think it was Majid Nawaz who had once said he's a presidential troll. He's trolling. So he trolls. You got to take it and move on. We need to solve our problems. That why so many people are leaving India. Instead of that, we're like, "Arey hatkadi pehna di." I mean, I just don't understand.
Did you agree with how the Prime Minister classified it? He said that these are desperate people who are misled. It is an issue of human trafficking, and the Americans have to work with India to counter it. He didn't have yours and Sushant's sort of very, very non-soft approach.
What did you expect the Prime Minister of a country to say? It's like, "Arey wahiyat logo."
No, what he said. What he said is what I expected him to say. He was representing India, not, himself.
Yeah, I do see. You know what the problem is?
Yes.
Like, people are bound by all this diplomaties and legalese and all the ease of the world. The thing about me is, I don't give a damn. I just am not bound by anything. Unfortunately, the political party spokespersons are also, I think the only apt photo that should be is political party spokesman with the hatkadi, because every time the party will say, "Arey, ye kyo bol diya?" I don't understand all of this. I'm just going to say it. Who gives a damn? The point is, why are they leaving? And then we have to make sure that we stop this illegal migration route. My biggest concern is that in this country, whether it's a Punjabi, whether it's a Gujarati, whether it's a Haryanvi, or whether it's someone who goes to Gulf, I don't understand why don't we have a discussion कि इतने लोग जाते क्यों हैं? हम उसके ऊपर ही obsessed है कि कहाँ land किए हैं. This country, see, this is why this country is doomed, because it has this kind of a discussion.
Okay, Ambassador Dayal, Prabhu Dayal, that is, to avoid any name confusion. Let's have your take. You've heard a multitude of perspectives here. The key debate seems to be, Bhaiya, Trump came to power on this issue. He's going to tom-tom it more than Biden, right? Suck it up, because that's the reality. You can do some back channeling, or you can send your own plane. If you don't send your own plane, you may have to accept it. Maybe you can request don't release videos.
Well, there are two different aspects. Firstly, the American aspect.
Yeah.
As they see it, these are illegal immigrants, and the US authorities have a right to deport them. Fair enough. Now, there is the Indian perspective. Firstly, we should not be thinking on divisive lines. It is totally wrong to say that so many were Punjabis, so many were Haryanvis, and so many people were India from UP. They are all Indians, and we must be unified in our approach on this. One more important aspect. Almost all speakers have emphasized the need to crack down on this racketeering, which is responsible for the illegal immigration into the United States from India. We must crack down with determination. Now, the biggest fallout of this entire crisis has been that now we are more acutely aware than ever before that there is such a big racket going on, and that there are so many Indians who have landed up with an illegal status. For me, it's important to crack down on these people who are responsible for the racketeering. And
from a diplomacy point of view.
One more thing, please.
Yeah.
I again emphasize, if there was a military plane that was bringing these people, it was best that it was allowed only to land by the shortest route. And as Mr. Shashank Sareen rightly pointed out, Amritsar was the closest airport in this route. If Srinagar was open and that border was open, that side was open, then maybe one could have landed them there. But as things exist, Amritsar was the closest port. I would have not been happy with a military plane from the United States flying around in India more than was absolutely necessary.
But at the same, yes. Can I ask you a question? What do you think the foreign ministry is saying to their counterparts as the second plane comes home?
Well, I'm sure that the foreign ministry must have taken up the manner of flying these people in. You know, it's all right to say that they've done something wrong, and well, the US always does it like that. But a long flight like this, well, I can't stomach this. I'm human. The human aspect overrides everything else. Such a long flight, coming handcuffed and in chains, I think it's terrible. And my heart goes out to them. And I'm sure that the foreign ministry has taken up this matter. And once again, I think we should be totally united in our voice and to express what is wrong and not be divided amongst ourselves to say that this is injustice to Punjab or so on and so forth. Let us only project ourselves as Indians.
So, Shant, any disagreements there that we raise the manner of them coming back? We take them back, but we be humane with them once they're back.
No, but we are going to be humane with them once they are back. But I don't think the definition of being humane with them means that ministers are going and paying obeisance at before them, promising them jobs, promising them relief. Why the hell? Why should my money be used to fund these guys? Number one. Number two, look, the prime minister can say what the prime minister said. He's the prime minister. He has to say that, right? I don't have any compunctions in saying something much more, being a lot more candid than what he is. I don't want anybody's votes, right? and I don't have to appeal to anybody. So my point is a very simple one. These people were not misled. Yes, maybe they were shown a dream. Maybe they saw a dream. But why the hell should I be made to pay for their dream by bringing them back, by sending my aircraft? I think Sanjay is right that yes, India should rise up to the rescue of her citizens. But I think you need to learn to distinguish between citizens who are caught up in a war where there is a danger of mass casualty, and citizens of India who have been caught literally with their pants down in some other country illegally, right? I think we need to be able to distinguish between those two situations. So yes, if there are Indians in Yemen, incidentally, a lot of Indians in Yemen who we, made such a big fanfare and song and dance about and carried out a whole ass operation to bring them back through naval ships and others, they all landed in India, and within a couple of weeks they went back to Yemen because they were getting more money out there. So why were we doing all of that? And why am my money being paid for that? Why should that money not be used to buy another weapons platform or something else? I say that, look, yes, I need to take care of my citizens, but I need to take care of my citizens who are out here, na? Why the hell do I have to spend money to bring back my citizens who have gone abroad illegally?
Okay.
The Americans pay for them. Why should I pay for them? And
Sanjay,
I wanted to make, this whole business of that now suddenly we are waking up to these human trafficking networks that exist. They've existed for the last 30 years. If the gentleman from Punjab, Mr. Pasi, his party doesn't know who are the human traffickers in Punjab, I think they should resign yesterday, not even today. They don't know who the hell is running these networks in Punjab. Everybody, every village, every guy knows in Punjab who the hell is running these networks, the donkey network. These guys don't know. They're suddenly waking up to it, and now the image of Punjab is at stake. How does this happen?
Okay.
हमारे मुंह पे क्या लिखा हुआ है भाई? I can't use that word, but हमारे मुंह पे क्या लिखा हुआ है?
Yeah, before Pasi responds to that. Yeah.
I have two questions. What is the distance between America and Amritsar, and what is the distance between America and Ahmedabad? Almost similar. There is no much difference between them. And second thing is, what are you saying? Let me complete. Don't be panicked.
Okay.
Mr. Sreen, when Mr. Adani has got the required relief with the visit of Mr. Modi in America, why these people cannot get any relief? Why they cannot get any respect in deport?
You can be taken to court for hurling.
Okay, Mr. Pasi.
When the problem, let me complete with respectful words. Let me complete. When this problem of illegal migration started way back, and you are saying that Mr. Bhagwant Mann should resign, AAP should resign. This is the problem created by the previous governments. We are taking strict actions against all those criminals who are involved in this crime, who are involved in this illegal migration.
How much action have you taken?
What required is, why are you panicked so? Why? I have listened very carefully. I have listened sincerely. I didn't interrupt you. What are you saying? You are just showing an agenda.
Mr. Pasi, अच्छा एक मिनट एक करके Mr. Pasi, if you really want to uphold the pride of Punjab, at this point you are in government. I take your point. I think Sushant also made the point that successive governments in their own way have failed our state of Punjab, right? Now the point is, if you are now, right now aapki sarkar hai, right? Correct? Right now, the best answer and the best justice to these people who have come home is to crack down on the people who duped them. So that you have to do. You should show visible action on that front.
Yes.
Agreed?
Yes. We are doing action against all those persons involved in this crime who are sending illegal migrants. And the basic problem is to be handled by the center government. Had they provided 2 crore jobs every year, the problem should have been solved.
Okay,
we are providing jobs. We are providing employment. This is the best solution.
Okay, I hear you.
No one wants to spend 40 to 50 lakhs.
I hear you. I hear you, and I think it's a valid point. I want Dr. Tayal. Firstly, what is the right way to say your name? So I get no confusion. Tayal. Dr. Tayal, Dr. Tayal, please respond. Sorry, apologies for that. Go ahead, sir.
No, not an issue. This is very, very typically up. So the problems are either inherited or to be tackled by somebody else. I am only there to enjoy the fruits of power. That is Aam Aadmi Party for you. We are providing jobs. Wish you had provided, you would have been there in Delhi today. The only jobs that you provided were in the Mohalla Thekas that you created. So let us not even go there. Let me give you a very
There
interesting
are those
incident.
2 crore jobs.
Acha, why
every-
Now,
okay,
Mr.
sir.
Pasi,
Ek karke,
There
please.
are those
Ek
2
karke.
crore jobs every
Mr.
year.
Pasi,
Mr.
Mr. Pasi,
Pasi.
I will give you a chance to rebut. Please unko bolne dijiye, please. Yes, Tayal
let
sir.
me give you a very interesting incident which was about I think about 6 months back. There was a talk by a prominent AAP person in a prominent university where he said we are fighting drugs. And when the question thing came up, some kid got up there and said, "Sir, tell me one thing. Right, probably 100 or 200 meters from the university is the police chowki. And right outside the police chowki, you can get drugs. And if a first-year child from the university can figure out how to get it, how is it that you don't know?"
But if you, may I ask you a question now? May I ask you a question? While in Punjab, we place the accountability at the door of the Bhagwant Mann government, in Haryana and Gujarat, we'll have to place it at the door of the state governments there. So this is, all our political parties are answerable for this. All of our political parties are answerable for this.
I completely agree with you, Barkha. There is no two ways about it. And not just the state governments. And there, I agree with the ambassador. This is the kind of problem that the country has to look at in totality and not as a particular state, this state or that state, including the center. Today, the ED has also started cracking down on what is happening because somewhere the larger picture has to be taken.
Okay.
And the states also have to get in within their areas as to what has to be done. The problem, the issue being, I would just want to say, more than these people or these kids or these people who've gone, we have to break the cartels which are there, and everybody has to do it.
Right. And that is in all states. But I will come to Kushal in just a moment. Sanjay Hegde, do go ahead. Sushant Sareen, on your point, said you can't compare airlifts out of war-torn Kuwait to an Indian who has broken the law both at home and abroad. Of course, you take them back. They're your people. Of course, you don't treat them as hardened criminals. Of course, you try, as the foreign ministry has tried to say, listen, be kinder when you bring them back. But in the end, you're stuck with American law. You're stuck with it. What can you do? Yes, you can send your own plane, but the debate then is, should the taxpayer money be spent on those breaking the law?
Well, to that, my answer is, are you going to say that just because Trump is sending them in handcuffs for free, you will not send your plane? You will not use your money? And second answer is, how do you know that the bill for the deportation on the military aircraft will not be sent to you later? This is Trump. He's transactional. So please save Indian citizens and Indian face. And in the long run, maybe sending our own aircraft might prove to be much cheaper. More than these deportees, what Trump is doing is to send a message to his domestic audience. Please be mindful that you have a larger domestic audience. The Indian dream, sorry to say that, and this is a failure of the Indian state, is often to have somebody from abroad who brings you those chocolates, who sends you those, who brings you that whiskey at the airport. And our country has traditionally sent a lot of migrants. Not everybody went through the correct routes. Now that we have a problem, it's a national problem. Let us not skimp on it, and let us not be divisive about it. That's my position.
Okay, let's bring in Kushal there. Do you agree with at least that it is a national problem? It needs a national response. It's not that Punjab se gaye, Gujarat, Punjab has become, actually Bhagwant Mann ironically has made himself the face of the debate. If he hadn't responded probably like that, it would not necessarily have been a Punjab
absolutely. Yeah, but that is classic Bhagwant Mann. So I mean, it's kind of
But you agree with
less I say.
Sanjay that it's smarter
I
to send
actually
more
do,
planes?
because that's been my line from day one, that nobody wants to talk about the reality is that it's an Indian problem. We have a problem in this country and we don't want to talk about those issues. I have said it from day one so many times on this, this platform too, that when Indian girls get sexually trafficked, Indian boys get humanly trafficked around. And as someone who lives half of the year in North America and covers these things in detail and talks about them, you just have to do cursory Instagram searches, Barkha, and you will see random videos of people saying, Bina vize de tonu page deange. And Barkha, the overwhelming number of videos, whether people like it or not, I don't know why people get so touchy-feely about this. I'm Punjabi myself. They are in Punjabi. They are a lot of these guys who are actually involved, especially in the North American side, when it comes to these kids landing there and then being moved around, are Punjabis. What are, like, just because we will start saying gravity doesn't exist, if you walk out of your terrace, it doesn't mean you're not going to fall down. We need to address this. Punjab is a part of India. It doesn't mean that if it's a Punjabi problem, it's not an Indian problem. Punjab is a part of India. Mr. Mann does not need to be that sensitive about this. I have heard horror stories of women. Barkha, I have said so many times, the girls I tried to help over there in Canada, unka passport leke baith gaye the ye log, ye touts. Passport leke baith jate hain, make her go strip in Las Vegas, go with her, bring her back in Canada. 3 लड़कियों को तो मैं पर्सनली बचा चुका और उनको $500 देके मैंने उनकी मदद की है. तभी तो किसी को शर्म नहीं आती है, तभी पंजाबी प्राइड नहीं आती है, तभी कुछ नहीं होता इनकी प्राइड को. क्या बातें क्या कर रहे हैं यार हम लोग? We should be ashamed. Punjabis are not Indians. So if it is a disproportionately Punjabi problem, are Punjabis not Indians? It is an Indian problem. I just don't understand the sensitivity behind the issue. And it's the entire political class of Punjab that is to blame. It's not just the aap. कौन से भंगड़े डाल रहे थे अकाली और बीजेपी की गवर्नमेंट उसके पहले या कांग्रेस वाले, सारे यही कर रहे हैं. You just have to go to Punjab, Barkha, and see every 5th hoarding is leave Punjab. It's not the case everywhere across India. Sushant was there just for a wedding in Amritsar, I think a few weeks back when I spoke to Sushant. Ask Sushant, every 5th hoarding is leave Punjab. It's not there. It's not the same across India. We have a problem.
Okay.
Why are we so shy?
We have to close. I'll give the ambassador the last word. Ambassador?
Barkha, I said at the very outset that I'm not a politician. But if I was, and if I was in place of Mr. Bhagwant Mann, what I would have said is that for decades, Punjabis are being trafficked, Punjabis are being misled. Now my government is in power. I'm chief minister. I will crack down on this trafficking. He should have used the opportunity to project his government in the right manner, not to highlight the wrong problem. This trafficking has not taken place in the last 1 year or so. It has gone on for decades. So he should have used that as a plus point, that now it is going to be cracked down on. Till now it was ignored. Trafficking was going on. Now the government of Punjab, which is the Aam Aadmi Party, will crack down. If I was a politician, this is the line I would have taken, rather than trying to look things in a very divisive, wrong sort of fashion.
All right, we leave it there. The second plane load is scheduled to arrive this evening. We'll see what happens after that. Will there be videos this time? Will there not be? But as everybody in this program agrees, that's not even the central point. This is going to happen again and again and again, unless there is an actual genuine crackdown on cartels. Does any political party have the will? That's the bottom line. Thank you very much, Sushant, Ambassador Prabhu Dayal, to Bikramjeet, to Kushal, to Dr. Dhiridhar Tayal, and to Sanjay Hegde. Thank you, and everybody have a great weekend. See you soon. It's great to see you here. Thank you for watching our work. If you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to click the bell icon and subscribe to Mojo Story and support independent, robust journalism.